Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Place, or Alexis and Melinda Art Place. Excuse my voice, yeah, it's still not really good. This tonsillitis is just taking it out of me this time. So today I'm just coming on and wanting to make a collection of junk mail to use as a wipe-off paint journal. I tend to have or squeeze out a bit too much paint when I'm painting and don't know what to do with it after I'm done, and it's a bit of a waste to throw it away. So I've been collecting all this junk mail and getting into junk journaling, and I thought, perfect idea. So the box you see me wrestling with at the moment is actually one of Alexis's boxes from one of her art projects or foil art projects. So I'm just cutting it down to size. I actually measured the largest piece of junk mail I had and decided to sort of make it on that size. So it's about an A5 size, A5 size book. So just making the cover, I decided to make the cover and the actual book. There's the sort of the book that I'm putting inside it. So I'm just sort of cutting off the excess bits. I have this lovely American Crafts paper trimmer that you can cut cardboard with, which is fantastic. So as this is my first sort of time putting the junk mail together, I'm just taking staples out of this pamphlet at the moment. I like the paper in this pamphlet. It's not shiny, it's like a flat paper, like a really matte paper. And so I decided to use some of those sheets. And I decided to take the staples out of this one as well, frizzing around with that. I like the ones that have staples in them because they're already pre-folded, so it makes it really easy. So that's just a jewellery catalogue. And this beautiful jewellery store in my hometown, and every time I go into town, I walk past and grab a few of their brochures because it's beautiful paper or it's beautiful imagery, and I tend to cut a lot of the jewellery out as well. So I have a bit of a tendency to pick up junk mail everywhere I go. This Flat Matters is actually our local suburb sort of newsletter that comes out. I think it comes out quarterly, so it's all about local clubs and schools and all that sort of stuff. So I cut that down to size, and then I have a few offcuts, so I'm just sort of spacing them out so they're all different sizes. When I first started this, I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. That's my rental book. When I started renting my house, they give you a book of rules and regulations, all that sort of stuff. So I decided I didn't need any more, and I pulled it apart. I'll probably need it one day. And the bit I'll need will be underpaint. So just making 2 signatures and making them all sort of different. So short bits, long bits. Making an interesting journal. First sort of journal I've made like this, so I'm sort of frizzing around, sort of flipping through the book and going, yeah, this is what I want. I like it, I'll add some more stuff. Some stuff's too big, so I cut it down, or I don't include it at all. So it's amazing actually when you start collecting sort of junk mail or brochures, or that's a Hungry Jack's paper bag sack, or there's like envelopes. It's amazing how much you actually acquire in the household when it's just simply stuff that you'd normally throw away and you just start putting it into a pile. And it's amazing how much your pile grows, and even without picking up any brochures, the amount that comes through our letterbox and comes through our junk mail delivery that we get every week with all the catalogues for the supermarkets and stuff, it's just amazing how much stuff you accumulate without even going looking for it. So I love the security envelopes, so I decided to cut those open and put them in there as well. So just measuring off the size of the papers. Not that they have to be all the same size, just make sure they're not bigger than the book. So as I said, this is the first album I've made like this, so I may go back and make a few more. I haven't made any since, because I've started to use this one as the sort of the wipe-off paint journal. I'm thinking I may put another one together and do it as like a collage journal and put paper in there that's like offcuts of paper and just build up backgrounds, and then use them, use it as a journal for something. I don't do a lot of writing as in journaling. I tend to stick pictures in or draw or paint and do stuff like that. One day I may get into a bit more writing, so just using a few of those scraps that I cut off the local newsletter we get. We tend to get 2 of those. I have a PO box, which you notice in the description box below, and I also have a street address, so we get sort of twice the amount of junk mail, which is fascinating. For our town, we tend to get it in both spots, which is really interesting. So then I decided to put another Hungry Jack's bag in, one that wasn't covered in food. So once I'm happy with them, I just decide to, I've gone off camera, there's the needle. So I've gone up to find my needle and my thread. I'm just sewing the signatures with a bit of baker's twine, and I'm no means a perfect person when sewing signatures, and I probably do it all wrong. It's my crocodile. I use that to punch holes in all my papers. So I decided to use a thicker card for the spine, because I didn't actually want to put it through the cardboard of the book. I wanted to have like a hidden spine that I'd seen on YouTube. So I've just changed my blank in the paper trimmer and just scoring a couple of lines that will fold the same as the book, so the spine's the same size, so it will hook in nicely. So then I decide to punch holes in that and use it as a template to punch holes in everything else. Sorry, just having a sip of water. My voice is just being ridiculous at the moment, but I have to get these videos done, otherwise you won't have any content from me for a few weeks if I actually waited till my voice got better on its own. I think it's just going to be croaky and crabby for a while. So I love the crocodile. It's really, really old. I don't even know whether they're still available. I had it at the shop, and I've been out of my shop 8 years, so it's probably 9 or 10 years old. So just marking off where the signatures are. This video cuts off a bit abruptly. I think we're sewing in the second signature, so just some baker's twine or some cooking twine, I think this one is, that I picked up at the supermarket. As I said, I've not sewn signatures before, so I will take suggestions. Probably punching the holes is not the ideal thing, but I've sort of found it was really hard to push the needle through, and I'm using a blunt, like a darning needle, so I didn't have a tip on it, and I don't have one of those hole everywhere's, the things to poke through pages. And I thought maybe the actual round holes in the pages might tear a little less. I don't know. I'm open for suggestions. So it's made 2 sets of holes and going in and around and in and around. Very basic stitching, but hey, it holds it together. So as I said, this cuts off abruptly in a couple of minutes, and I filmed a second part of the video. I've done a little bit of an intro, and a couple of months later, and showing you some of the pages that I've already sort of painted and starting to gesso some of the pages to either use as a mini journal or background pages, or I could punch out of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with it completely at the moment, but at the moment I'm having fun putting excess paint in it. So I'll just leave you with the sewing of it. As I said, I think it cuts off on the second signature. But just basically looping it around several times to just make it nice and tight. I'd love to learn a bit more bookbinding, and I must look up some YouTube videos to see if I can bookbind a bit better. There we go. Just tying it off. So I'll leave it with you, and you'll get the intro into the next bit. Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking Craft, or Alexis and Melinda's Art Place. We are in the process of changing our names, and I'm not sure when this video is going up. It's Melinda anyway, same person, different channel name. So you've just seen me put together this book and sew it and stitch it together. It's got 2 signatures. It's basically made out of junk mail and flyers, made out of envelopes and junk mail, a rental book that I was given when I started renting. Flat Matters is a local thing for our suburb that they put out regularly with different stuff in it. It's got jewellery magazines in it. So you've just seen me put this together, and what I'm using this little book for is it will have a hardcover eventually, but I haven't stuck it on yet. It's for excess paint and excess stencils. So when I put out paint onto my palette and don't use it in my project, I go in here and just slap it on. So this is one of the first pages I did, and then what I'm going to do is actually, these are pre-made backgrounds to then turn into art journal pages. So you can see I've sort of slapped some of the paint on here. Yes, you can see some of the background showing through. I may go and add more paint, I'm not sure. I may stick something over that, I'm not sure. This one I just love the texture because this was really bumpy gloopy paint. So using up a few older paints at the moment as well. I've stamped on these as well. I need to put something over the window because I was gessoing this and I put my heat gun too close to the clear window. So I just I'm putting a bit of gesso. When I gesso a page in my art journal, because I've already got the brush dirty, I just grab this book out and put some gesso on some of the shinier papers. So you can see they're all different lengths and widths. This one's got a bit of orange on it, some gold paint. This one's probably one of my favourite pages. This white is a spray and I was testing to see if it worked, and it certainly did. And it feels lovely, and just the blue and the white will make an awesome page. And I love how you can see part of the junk mail still below it, which is really cool. Oh, that's got a bit of brown on it, so I don't know. Oh, that's a lovely yellow page with a bit of black on it. Double red page here. So if you want to see further updates of this book, because I know a lot of people put these what they call junk journals together, which is all with this junk mail and different things. So there's some shiny papers, some flat papers, all sorts of things. You saw a lunch sack, so I'll do something with that. So I see a lot of people that's been gessoed on YouTube, and I'm in a Trashy Junk Journal group that make a lot of journals out of this, and I don't see a lot of people actually using them. I'm not a journaler as such. I don't do a lot of writing. So this one is probably be turned into an art journal. So there's an open envelope. There's a card from something or other. A card from the zoo or something. I don't know what that was. So I thought I'd do an update every so often. I may do process videos when I actually, for example, when I do something on this page, I may do it as a process video if you're wanting to see what I then turn this into. So it's a great way to use up extra paint, use up old paint. If you mix too much of a colour, and obviously what do you do with a mixed colour, you can just slap it on here. Doesn't matter if I build up a couple of layers of paint on here, the more layers of the paint the better. And then as I said, I've just had some pages as well. So thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see updates of this journal of how I use it, I may tear pages out as well to use in other projects. I'm not sure yet. I've said a couple of times and finished what I was saying. If you'd like to see an update of this journal, leave a comment below and I will endeavour just to do that as well. But it's just my go-to, just slapping on paint, and sometimes I've got the last little bit of a tube of paint to use up and it's getting really old. I'll go and put in this book as well. So it will just be a collection of bits and pieces. So it's just been, as you saw, put together with a signature. Since the last video, I've actually put some masking tape just to strengthen the hinge. Don't know whether I want to put it in the bound book yet. I've got a hard cover for it that you saw me do in the last video. It's around somewhere. Don't know whether I'm going to stick it in the hard cover or not, or whether I want to leave it till the end. But it's quite chunky, so I wanted to have a fair bit of paper to work with. So that's what I've been up to lately. Slapping paint onto pages, and I just love this. This is just gorgeous. You couldn't create this if you tried. Some of the textures in it and some of the different, like these are just gorgeous. These ink things. Ink, they look like dendritic prints. I put another piece of paper on top and pulled it off. And I love the texture on this one, and the stamping is just when I stamp off some stamps. So that's what I'm using that for. Thanks for watching. If you make one, let me know. I'd love to see. Tag me in your video. I'd love to see what you do with your excess paint and things when you're art journaling. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.